channel and Manu from Piano Sight Reading, where I help and inspire piano players to explore and learn new music through sight reading. And today I'm going to be sight reading a piece that was sent to me a few months ago by Cameron Lee Simpson called Black Magic. This is what he said in his email. As per your challenge, I have one of my most difficult novelties I would love for you to sight read, and I hope you have fun with it. Thank you so much, Cameron, for sending me one of your most difficult pieces. You really didn't have to. I think you're overestimating my sight reading abilities. As always, I will do my best. So Black Magic looks like a rag, and I can tell because you have the typical left hand pattern with bass notes and chords, you know, octave, chord, that kind of pattern. You have swing written at the top, so that refers to the quavers being swung. So instead of playing them straight, like you would be playing. So that's typically jazz and also found in rags. And you have a lot of syncopation as well. That's part of the difficulty of sight reading pieces like this. Although there are no sharps or flats in the key signature, as you can see from even just the first page, there are lots of accidentals. That will be the difficulty. And the speed is pretty fast. You're looking at quartet equals 180. If you don't want to see me make a mess of this piece, then I will be taking it a notch or 2 or 3 notches slower. So it's going to be more like a slowish rag so that I can play as many notes as I can accurately. And make sure you stick around till after I sight read the piece, because I'll be going through the score in some areas, and I will be showing you how I was processing the information and trying to explain what was going on. Let's see how we go. And I won't be playing the repeats so that it's not too long. Well, yes, I can see why you said it was one of the most difficult pieces. It was quite challenging, especially because it was made up of a lot of chords that you don't usually find in rags. I wouldn't even know what to call the chords because they're quite unusual, and sometimes I couldn't even get my fingers around the notes because, as you know, I have small hands and it's hard for me to stretch sometimes. So let me show you what I was doing in my mind to try and make sense of the piece while I was sight reading. So like I said in the beginning, the first two lines, at a glance I can tell that it's in A minor, and in A minor you have the leading note, which is your G sharp. So I knew that was coming, and it's pretty much based on the A minor scale with some chords, like this would be like a broken chord. So it's predictable at the start. Now further on you have common shapes like this. It's just a root position chord, just using 5-3-1. So that's pretty easy. But yes, you do have lots of accidentals, so that kind of threw me off a bit. But whenever I could, I tried to make sense of it and tried to look for patterns or repeated notes. And then all of these, I look at them as octaves, not two separate things. Yeah, whenever I have things like this in my mind, it's almost like the same chord. Again, things like that, I group them. I see that as one chord, more or less. And then like here, I can see this is just repeating. And then this is also like a pattern in the left hand using the same notes. Things like this, these are, like going up by step, more or less. Yeah, and then when you have things like here, like the bass changes, but the chord is the same. So here as well, you have the bass changing, but then the chords are the same. So when I see that, then I can concentrate more on the right hand. And yeah, so I'm always looking out for anything that repeats like this, and it's the same in the left hand, it repeats, and then this is the same thing repeating here. Then these, again, I'm grouping, so instead of thinking this, this and this, I'm thinking as one group, D, E, F, etc. And here it's not obvious at first, but what's happening here is think of it like that. So this is a G chord. So you can think of it like that instead of separate elements. And these chords in the left hand just go down by step. It's the same shape. Yes, and then it repeats again at the end. Yes, so that's kind of how I look at notes whenever I can. Sometimes it's just not predictable, and then I have to look at individual notes, and that's when it takes longer. So whenever you can, you try to group things, and it's called chunking. This idea of grouping notes into one so that it's easier for your brain to process. Okay, well, I hope you found this useful. I would love to know what you thought of this piece. Let me know in the comments. And thank you, Cameron, for sending me one of your most difficult pieces. You really didn't have to. If you have anything easier, feel free to send that through. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Go and keep exploring.